Hi, my name is Paul Liu. I'm a program manager for Dataverse platform. Today, I'm going to walk you through on how we have modernized our business unit security concept. You can now allow your user to access data from multiple business units, regardless of which business unit the user belongs to. Now, let's take a look. Business units. If your organization operates under a logical grouping of related business activities, you might want to use business units. Business units are a security modeling building block that helps in managing users and the data they can access. Each business unit defines a security boundary for the unit. Every database has a single root business unit. Child business units can be built below it. An example where you would use business unit is in a sales organization where you have regional sales offices. Imagine North America and EMEA. And under the North America region, you can have East and West Coast offices. The security boundary allows you to create records owned by the business units, and only users with the appropriate security role from that business unit can access the data. There are two types of data access structures for business units. First, you have the hierarchy structured data access. The business units that the user is associated with determines which business unit owns the record. When the user creates a record, the record is owned by that business unit. By having that association, it provides you to tailor a security role which allows the user to access record in that business unit. Here you can see that each user belongs to a business unit. A security role from that business unit is assigned to the user, and the user can only access data in that business unit. Next, you have the matrix structured data access. Customer can use an organization structure where data is compartmentalized in tree-like hierarchy, and users can work in any business units, regardless of what business unit the user belongs to. User can belong to the root business unit or any business unit, and user can be assigned to any business unit security role, and user can access records in business unit with a security role of that business unit. Here you can see user A can access data in business units 1, 2, and 4 because the user has a security role assigned from each of these business units. Modernize business units. There are a couple of feature goals on modernizing the business units. The first goal is to remove the tight coupling between the user or team's business units from accessing and managing data in a business unit. Secondly, we want to provide a security model that is based on security role assignment to access and manage data in the business unit. And how do we do that? We enable the capability to allow a user to own records across business units. We allow the admin to assign security roles from any business unit to the user, regardless of which business unit the user belongs to. And we enable the ability for the user or admin to set the records owning business unit when the record is being created or updated. Here are some user stories that these capabilities would be helpful. The first one is an example of a matrix structure data access. A store clerk working at 2 stores. The other are examples of what customers are experiencing today with our current business unit security model. Now, let's look at how to use this feature. First, you need to enable the feature switch. To do that, log into the Power Platform Admin Center and navigate to the Environment's settings. Click on the Feature tab. Scroll down the page until you find the record ownerships across business unit switch. Turn it on. Please note that this can take a few minutes to process. Once this feature switch is turned on, you can now assign security roles from different business units to your user or team. Go to the Environment Settings, Users and Permission, and click on Users. Locate the user who you want to assign a security role. Click on the Manage Security Roles button. Now you can see that the business unit drop-down is enabled. You can select from different business units. Let's assign Store 1 Clerk security role to Adam. And since Adam is going to be working in 2 stores, we are going to be assigning Store 2 Clerk security role to Adam as well. The final step to use this feature is to enable the Owning Business Unit field in your application. But first, let's look at what is Owning Business Unit. Each user-owned record has an Owning Business Unit field. Users with security role to read records for the business unit can access record owned by the business unit. User with security role to update records for the business unit can update the records owning business unit, provided that they have the append to privilege on the business unit table. Before the feature switch is turned on, the owning business unit of each record is defaulted to the record owner's business unit. It cannot be selected and put on any form or views, and it cannot be updated. With this new feature, you can enable it on the form in both the body and the header. You can also enable it on views. You can specify this field in your column mapping if you're using the auto map entity. Now that you know what owning business unit field is, let's take a look and see how to add it on a model-driven app. In my model-driven app, I have different entity views. Let's go ahead and add it in the account. Here's the form, and we're going to be editing the account form. In the account, you have the header and the summary. So first we want to add it to the header, and you can look at all the fields that are available that can be added to the header, and there you have it, the owning business unit. You select that, and it's going to move into the header. Okay. In my demo, I already have added, so I'm not going to do this. And then similarly, you would go to your summary and repeat the same thing. Find the owning business unit and select it. In this case, I already have added that on my form. So there are 2 places that I've added, on the summary and the header. Next, we want to add the owning business unit field on the view. Navigate to the account views, and let's update the active account view. And you can see there's no column for the owning business unit. So to add that, you find the owning business unit and you drag it to where you want it to be. Let's put it right here. Save it. And you can publish. And now you have added the owning business unit to the view and also to the form. Now, let's take a look at what happens when Adam runs the app. You can see that Adam can access records from Store 1 and 2. This is because Adam has security roles with account read, local privilege level from Store 1 and Store 2 security roles. The security roles also have account create and update privileges with basic level and business unit append privilege in local level, which allows Adam to update the record he owns. He can update the owning business unit field as well. However, Adam will not be able to update accounts that are not owned by Adam. So let's take a look at this account. It's owned by the admin. And you can see he cannot update the owning business unit. And you can repeat this whole thing with Canvas apps. Here I have a Canvas app for my store app. First, I need to share the app with Adam and allow Adam to run the app. Next, we can tell Adam to run the app. Now, Adam can access the app and can see both Store 1 and Store 2 records. And he can update the owning business unit on the records that he owns. And now he just updated the owning business unit. This concludes the demo on both the model-driven app and Canvas app. There are situations where you need to change a user's business unit. For example, a user is transferred to another business unit. To help you with the migration, we have added 2 database organization settings which allow you to manage the user data access after the transfer. First, we have a setting called Do Not Remove Rows on Changed Business Units. This allows you to manage what happens to the user security role. The default setting is removed, but you can set it to true to not remove the security role. Next, we have the setting called Always Move Record to Owner Business Unit. The default setting is to move user records to the new business unit, but you can set it to false to not move the records after the transfer. Typically, when a user changes business unit, you might want the user to continue to access the records that the user owns and not move his or her records to the new business unit. What you can do is you can create a special security role which allows the user to have read-only access to the records from the prior business unit. Here in my environment, my always move record to owner business unit is set to the default true, which means that records will move to the new business unit when I change the business unit. Now, using the organization setting editor, which you can download from our website, I'm going to change the setting to false. Once it's updated, now when I go back to the change business unit, you can see that the move records to the new business unit box is unchecked. Last but not least, this feature also provides some flexibility in managing the update of the owner and/or owning business unit of the child records when the parent records owner and/or owning business unit is updated. There can be cascading effects depending on whether you are updating just the records owner or owning business unit, or both the owner and business unit. Please review this documentation for the detailed list of cascading behaviors. This concludes the overview of the modernized business unit feature and its security concept. Check out the below links for more information concerning security concepts in Dataverse. Thank you for watching.